it's Scott Manley here with a quick look at a mod for people that like to build awesome things in Kerbal Space Program. Now, I'm sure you can see, I'm sure you like sharing pictures of your rockets, because they're, magnificent chariots of the sky, complex vehicles with many moving parts and great potentiality for explosions. But sometimes you want to be really scientific and make something that looks perhaps like drawings, So there's something called Kronal Vessel Viewer, which was originally created by Kronal and more recently is maintained by the bigorangemachine. And yeah, you can see down here it generates nice little graphics of your spacecraft. You can switch it between 3D and orthographic view. Orthographic is where the camera is projecting only parallel raycasts, I guess is the technical term. It basically removes any perspective, and that's something you deal with in technical drawings all the time. You can, of course, rotate it to different rotations, and if you want to see all the parts separated, you can hit the explode button, and that doesn't do what explosions normally do in Kerbal Space Program. It actually splits the vehicle into various parts, so you can actually see the internals. I guess coming around, you can see that I've adjusted the fairings. These are procedural fairings, and okay, it isn't quite perfect here because this little rover and sky crane would normally have a fairing that's only that length, but by expanding it, the fairing has also been expanded. Far from perfect in that respect, but still it is it's a great little tool if you want to share your designs with people. So all you do is you hit the screenshot button and they appear in the various in your screenshots directory. Now, if the colors or something aren't quite right, you can try various adjustments to the edge detect to make things that look perhaps more simple. There's a lot of color adjustment parameters. You can adjust your backgrounds, enable full screen anti-aliasing, and you can actually tweak how various parts appear in the game. So you can stop hiding the struts, for example, revert it and explode it again, and yeah, the struts are now visible and the fairings are no longer explodified. So let's take a look at some awesome pictures generated by this. And so this is what the final render looks like. 1408 by 4418 pixels. It is higher resolution than can be, of course, displayed on a 1080p video, but that means we can, of course, zoom in and pan over the surface and take a look at the detail. Now, it's kind of cool that they've got a lot of processing going on to make it look hand-drawn. They've got obviously a bunch of edge detect algorithms and color processing just to make it look like it has been designed by hand. And these are great. Of course, you can combine them and post-process them whatever way you like. It will work with the aircraft, although the version that I tried does have some weird issues with rotating aircraft. I'm sure that'll be fixed. This is the Haldeman from the B9 Aerospace pack, and this is the Bradbury. Again, all of these, it works with whatever mod you might have. Most of the time, I'm sure there's plenty of mods that are incompatible, but if it is simply a part mod that adds new models, it'll be great. And this is, this is a standard Kerbal X final stage. Of course, Kerbal X final stage is kind of boring, you've seen that before, so I decided to bolt it on to one of those new B9 mega-sized parts, just so you can get an idea of how big these things are. This is just, this isn't flyable. This is just something I wanted to add in for scale, and I built it as high as the vehicle assembly building would let me. You can just see the edge there is a very, very thin line there. Obviously, the architect or the designer used some very sharp pencil shears. Look at that power system there with all the engines and knickknacks and stuff bolted on the back. But now, of course, being actual pilots, I bet you'd like to know if these things still work in exploded view mode. Well, if you can get it to launch, and that's not guaranteed because they try to stop you, all the joints do in fact work correctly. They're just offset. It's a very weird thing, but it is just the way the game works. You have to realize in Kerbal Space Program, rockets are in fact a bunch of parts flying in close formation. Alright, they're all separate entities within the physics system, and they're just held together by the joint forces. Anyway, I'm obviously flying really low and fast, and ferrum aerospace will punish me soon. Ah, there we go there. And, oh! And the whole thing goes away. Okay, let's use the aerodynamic lift of this thing to lift me upward. So, yeah, Kronal Vessel Viewer. It's kind of cool if you want to generate pictures. And I was figuring, if you guys go out and make some nice pictures, I'd really like to see them, and maybe I'll send out some Steam keys to the best pictures you can generate with these things. Don't be afraid to, you know, take multiple shots, edit them together. Let me see what you've got. Until then, I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.